Well, I need to welcome you back, and we're still with the big story for today, and we're talking about President Bola Tinubu's appointment of new service chief, and those chiefs were really named yesterday, replacing the former that we had with former President Muhammad Buhari administration, and well, that appointment itself is generating a whole lot of issues, as some are indeed applauding it, and also some are really surprised with how quick those service chiefs were named. But anyway, without missing words, definitely we'll still have him right here. I'm talking of no other person but Chief Olori Magige helping out with the discussion. And before the break, in case you're just joining us, we talked greatly about the judiciary and how it is also important, as much as we're rejigging our security architecture, also for the judiciary to be repositioned for increasing the confidence Nigeria have in the judiciary. And we took a great look at especially that seems to be trending, and that of Senator Abuka and his allegation, or rather, when he said during the validated section of the Night Assembly that he had to really compromise some of the decision his wife took on account of being president of the appeal court, when he encroached on her to tell her to favor some of his colleagues. But anyway, we're done with that on a very first half of Quest today. It's only right to go to the second, which is also timely and important and unfolding. I'm talking about the coming of new service chief and how that would indeed change this very administration. Let me quickly come back to you. Now, it's only right if you're making, if you're talking about this, that you look at where you're coming from. It gives you a clear distinction and direction of where you should be heading. And over 63,111 Nigerians were killed in the last 8 years of former President Muhammad Buhari. And that very statistics is according to data obtained from the Nigerian Security Tracker, a project of the Council of the Foreign Relations African Program. And the death arose from terrorism, banditry, herders and farmer clashes, communal clashes, court clashes, and even extrajudicial killings, among others. And I know that figure will be highly debated due to the fact that those were only the ones recorded and many others were not. So some people would really kick against such data and feel it's a bit higher than being announced, especially by the Nigerian Security Tracker. But insecurity in itself has become our number one challenge. Yeah, the economy is there, but many will say insecurity has been number one challenge. And it is largely expected that President Bola Tinubu would definitely change the service chiefs. That we knew was going to come. But the lightning speed in which it came, knowing that he has not even been up to a month in office, is what's really surprising many. And not only that, also, they are really excited that we have somebody as Nuru Badu, the former EFCC pioneer chair, as also mentioned as the new National Security Advisor. So my first question is, what do you make of all of this? The coming of new service chiefs.
Beautiful. Fantastic. The man is hitting the ground running. The security has measurement to determine success or failure.
Yeah.
When you have service chiefs, including the police, IGP, they were unable to prevent the death of 68,000 people, according to your quotation.
Yeah, according to the Nigerian Security Tracker.
Then they failed. They have failed. And when somebody fails in the security, you don't allow him to repeat. You let him go. He has failed. He has failed. And if President Bola Tinubu wants to succeed, as he had declared both in his body language and in his speeches, in utterances, then of course those who have failed should be flushed out. So the old service chiefs, they've all failed and failed woefully. They don't deserve to repeat and they don't deserve to remain. Let's try new hands. And I think what he did is in tandem with what he promises to do.
Now, let's also look at it, because I like, it's not like I'm doing comparison, but sometimes you also look at where we had it wrong or made it wrong. So at least we don't fall in the same pit and have more of a repeat of how we did not get it right. Now, during the last administration, we spent over 12 trillion naira in dealing with insecurity. And yet it was elusive. Why do you feel so?
Oh, I have said it here many times. Lack of political will on the part of government. Somebody was killed by somebody. We know the person was killed. We know the person who killed. There is no arrest, no persecution, nothing. How can you say that in Plateau State? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed. In Benue, hundreds and thousands of people are killed. You say clashes of herdsmen between herdsmen and farmers, and people die. Who are the herdsmen? Who are the killers? Are they ghosts? And you can't find any one of them to show deterrence. Somebody to be punished most severely. We're not in a situation of war where you say soldiers can kill and they go scot-free because they are on national duty. That's not it. There is killing. People are dying. It's not a judicially ordered killing. In southern Kaduna, till tomorrow, people are being killed. We now have internally displaced persons within their own country, within their own community. Land is being grabbed. And no one, not one, has been arrested and punished severely to show deterrence. Would that be an encouragement for continuing killing? When somebody kills, he's not apprehended, he's not punished, you are encouraging him to kill more. Hence I said, lack of political will on the part of government to disqualify with the situation. And hence, this removal of all these failed service chiefs is very vital for reinvigorating the security architecture in the country. That's my take.
So that political will was not there with the last administration?
Was not there.
And not the issue of funding or all of that?
Did they have gone?
No, they didn't do.
Did they have weapons? Oh. When the people think you have to canoe a plane and those helicopters before you can walk. The herdsmen that are killing people, do they have to canoe?
Okay, now, let's leave that, but come to now the new security advisor, Neru Rubadu. Well, he comes with a very rich CV. A CV that will get many other persons smiling on account of his appointment. Yes, he graduated from the Nigerian Law School in 1984. Immediately went into the police. And not only that, I know he has an LLM degree with emphasis on judicial prudence on corruption in no other school but ABU Zaria. And also, well, he became a household name, not just nationally but internationally, on his account of his attitude and his record, his glorious record as being the pioneer chairman of the Economic Financial Crime Commission. And we know he had over 200 convictions under his watch as the EFCC chairman. But let's look at him. Now, do you see him excelling under this new job being given to him as the National Security Advisor? Because that's where the table, that's where everything lies, and the command structure will naturally come from him. So let's look at him now being head of the National Security team. Do you see him excelling also? Because if you look at it, it's quite different from him being the anti-corruption watchdog head. But now being saddled with the responsibility of dealing with this political will we've talked about, dealing with the issues of headers and farmer clashes, dealing with the issues of banditry, dealing with the issues of terrorism. Does he have that rich knowledge? And do you see him excelling in these very points?
To me, what is most important with Nuhu Ribadu is that he is Mr. Clean. He did his job in EFCC so beautifully.
Yes.
It's not that he's the pioneer. That's not the issue. He was clean when he was head of EFCC.
Of course.
So in other words, he is coming in to be NSA with correct attitude. correct posture, exemplary performance in previous jobs given to him.
Okay.
So I have no fear whatsoever.
So that's rich and a good one for you.
That is good enough for me. That is good enough for, plus his various experiences in the police and all that. But let me say this. There is politics within the rank between the police and the military. Let me bring you back to a colonel who was head of a custom, who refused to wear the uniform of custom, even when the Senate ordered him to appear in the uniform of custom. Why? He feels the uniform of the custom is inferior to the uniform of the military that he represents, even when he has retired from the military. That is the attitude. And I read somewhere where people were saying, how can police head the military? Because here we're talking of chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, chief of F.
And having a former police.
Yes, to head that, to give instructions, and all that and all that and all that. But, hey, it's a call to duty. Nuhu Ribadu has been called upon to come and do a job based on his character. He is not a fanatical Muslim. He is not a rabid Muslim. Nuhu Ribadu has not, in all his behavior while working, showed he lost one religion over the other. He has also not told anybody or declared himself more of love for his tribe. He is a Nigerian. And that is very vital for this job. Because we know herdsmen belong to a particular tribe. We know that. Anybody who has sympathy for that tribe cannot be an NSA. I am not saying a man from that tribe cannot be NSO. I am saying a man who has love for the headers to the extent that
having that criminal tendency.
Yes, cannot be NSA.
Let's really differentiate that.
Yeah, we must differentiate that. So I think if Tinubu can manage that rivalry between the various arms of security, if he can manage that very carefully, and if Nuhu Ribadu can come up strongly and say, look, this is a job, it does not matter whether you are wearing brown khaki, or you are wearing blue khaki, or you are wearing white khaki, it does not matter. What matters is the security of this country, and we are going to do it and do it very well. He will succeed. He has the character. He has the capacity. What I don't know is, will Tinubu give him the political support that he needs? That I don't know.
Free hand
to do what he needs to do. That I don't know. It depends on Mr. President.
Okay.
It depends on Mr. President.
But because why I'm asking this, if you could still recall, 2 weeks back, he had a meeting with the service chief where he also, I'm talking about no other person but President Bola Tinubu, let's call them the ex-service chiefs, where he emphasized that intelligence gathering and sharing would be vital. So do you feel he also saw all of that? And he knew there was this lack of cooperation, especially with intelligence? Because let's take our mind back to what happened last year about this time, or we had Akuje prison break. The DSS gave intelligence reports. We could even count up to 10 times indicating that there could be an attack on that very facility, but all was in deaf ears till after that very attack. And the blame was that the other security architectures and the other security structures were not really willing to walk along with the DSS in that intelligence sharing. So do you feel a lack of that really robbed that last administration? And like you said, you feel Ribadu has the no leader to really see how he can really combine all of that. But let's look at even, you raised something that I'm a bit disturbed about, and I want us to really address it. Now, he'll be coming to be the NSA as an ex-policeman.
Yes.
And we know the bitter rivalry between the Nigerian military and the police. And the Nigerian military, with all due respect, would sometimes look at the police as being a bit inferior. Would that not also pose a challenge?
And that is the work of Mr. President, and also the reaction of Nuhu Ribadu to that insinuation.
To that insinuation?
Yes, to that. It's an insinuation.
Yes, I do understand.
As far as we are concerned, there is no rivalry, there is no inferior agency in security. They are all doing the same thing, providing security in the country.
Of life and
yes.
property of
Yes.
Nigerians.
So, I hope Mr. President will be able to curb that. When instructions go down, it's obeyed. And if it is not obeyed, punishment is meted. Severe punishment is meted.
Service chiefs.
Yes, on service chiefs. Sharing of intelligence. You see, information moves from DSS. Intelligence report moves from DSS to NSA. NSA now dissipates that information, disseminate that information to relevant arms, agencies that are in charge of taking care of whatever issue the intelligence is about. So, is Tinubu saying, President Tinubu implying that there is lack of coordination on the part of NSA? Because everything stops at his table. From his table, it goes to Mr. President.
Directly
to Mr. President. And everybody reports through him to Mr. President. So, if there is no intelligence guard, it means there's a problem. And it could also be part of the rivalry we are talking about.
Unnecessary rivalry.
Unnecessary rivalry we are talking about. Again, the Kuje invasion. To many of us onlookers, we think there is more to it than meets the eye.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we'll not go to all of
we won't go into that, but
without sufficient proof to
when intelligence comes, NSA should be able to disseminate it to the relevant arms of security and deal with the situation. If it is not dealt with, then he should be held responsible.
Okay, now you've just given us a direction you feel the new security architecture should follow. And you talked greatly about cooperation and that's synergy between all security apparatus. But apart from that, now a quick one, maybe 2 minutes or more. What direction should these new security chiefs take? I know they'll be going through the NSA, but what direction should we now approach to the issue of insecurity? Because if you look at the last one, directives were given. Many times you saw former President Muhammad Buhari invite the service chief, gave them directive, had to even change a couple of them, changed them even after many outcry. But yet little or nothing was achieved. Yes, you made mention of political will. So what direction should these now follow?
Mike.
Yes.
I think Arise Television invited one from retired major for an interview. And the man was weeping
on national TV.
On national TV. Why? He said the military, the army that he was part of, the army he gave his life to serve, has more than enough capacity to crush these bandits and terrorists. But their hands are tied behind. He started weeping. That is what we require. The military should be proud of their uniform. Should be proud to be men and women called to defend Nigeria. And that pride should be reflected in how they do their job. The police should be proud of the uniform they are wearing. And it should be reflected in the performance, in their performance. It's the performance we are talking about here. Can the service chiefs do that? And that's the litmus test. Can they do that? Can they sufficiently do their job the way they are trained to do, the way they are paid to do? Not finding excuses. Not finding excuses. And whatever they need, let the president provide for them to do this job. And ultimately, how secure we are is not a news item. It's what we feel.
Yes.
What we feel. You can't walk in Ugele at night anymore. So if the security is working, then I should be able to walk. You should be able to walk anytime in Ugele.
So it's not we saying they've done well, but
no, it's we seeing that they've done well. We seeing that they have done well. Security is quite completely different from all other arms of government. This directly impacts the individual. Everyone
can easily be measured.
Yeah, it can easily be measured. 69,000 people were killed during Buhari. 0 persons were killed during Tinubu. We can measure that. We can now say Tinubu succeeded at the end of his tenure.
But I really want to thank you so much.
Political will.
And yes, I would want to really have you to also tell us what you need to say. Political will on account of security and on account of the
judiciary. Political will to do the correct thing. Simple. We know the thing is wrong. Bukachawa's made statement. Has Bukachawa been interrogated? Has he been questioned? Has he been arrested? No. Which means that he's correct.
Okay, well, anyway, it will be correct for me to say thank you so very much for also spending your time with us, always honoring our invitation, especially even on short notice when we reach out to you. You always honor that.
I'm honored. I am honored. Okay. I need to thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Well, anyway, on that note, we need to also go, and I really want to say a special thank you to all our fans and the lovely messages you send, and also to those that would say they'll give us an award and cash to follow. I would truly appreciate you, Mr. Friday, and all the Quest fan. We truly would say thank you very much on account of that. And also, would also want to thank the crew out there. It's not just me alone, but we'll have a crew that ensure that this comes to you every lovely morning, as much as we also thank the management of this great establishment. But for me and the crew, God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.